YouTube should be fine with it. You put in the keys or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, I was going to look at the arrow. Why is he having it?
Right, copy.
Anyhow, you will, however you want to share it.
Oh, we can change that here. How do you change that?
Just remove it.
Yeah, I think. Share now. Copy. When it looking, I got the sound on them, right? Please, sponge it. Testing 1 2, sound check 1 2, sound check 1 2, tested 1 2, tested 1 2, sound check 1 2, sound check 1 2. Clarity good? Alright, that's because the sponge on this drop out. So.
So are they going to be seeing this?
Welcome everyone to the Queen's Park Cricket Club, the Squash Association Sunshine Snacks Junior National Tournament, where with the squash nationals, the squash players, the national junior players of Trinidad and Tobago are doing some trials for their selection for the CASA tournament. And we have here at the commentary booth Mr. Ryan Jagasa, who is the head coach of the national team. Mr. Jagasa, welcome.
How are you doing? Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Ryan, could you just give us a little rundown of what is happening today with regards to the tournament and, you know, what is coming up in the future for squash?
Sure. Right. So this tournament is a selection tournament for our national team. The players that are selected are going to represent Trinidad and Tobago in Guyana from July the 9th to the 17th at the Junior Caribbean Squash Championship. This is the first Caribbean Junior Squash Championship since the pandemic. So we haven't had a tournament the last 2 years. So the athletes are very excited to be able to get back into international competition.
So, you know, it's really good to see after the pandemic that, you know, you all have been able to mobilize so quickly and to get the Squash Association up and running. And from being here, it's very exciting. The atmosphere is very exciting to the juniors. And Ryan, could you tell me a little bit more about the tournament itself today?
Right, okay, so what we're currently looking at right now is the boys under 15 final between Nicholas Liquai and Marcus Campins. We have the boys under 17 final also later on, also featuring Nicholas Liquai against Seth Thong, the top seed. We have Chloe Walcott, who is our reigning girls under 19 champion. She's going to be taking part as well later on, trying to defend her title.
And I think the juniors have been having a lot of practice as well over the last few weeks. I know they've been practicing a few days for the week.
Yes, the juniors train 5 to 6 days a week. And only recently we've been allowed to have the children under 13 get back into training because, you know, we had the safe zone regulation and anyone who wasn't vaccinated was unable to enter the safe zone. So it's only within the last 2 to 3 months when that legislation was ended that we were allowed to start back training the kids from the under 12 kids.
Right, so after today's tournament, is there going to be a selection process for the CASA tournament?
Yes, so after today's tournament, we will take into account the results of this tournament and then we will select a team from the results.
Right. So apart from the juniors, is there any adult or seniors category?
Yes. So we actually have the senior nationals taking place next month, June the 9th to the 12th. And from that, we will select a team to go to the Senior Caribbean Squash Championships taking place in Jamaica in August.
So I see here there's a tournament going to start. Is there a match going to start now?
Yes, so Nicholas has won the first game and the second game has just started.
And I believe Nicholas is the one in the blue jersey?
Yes.
Right.
Nicholas is our top seed and has also represented Trinidad at CASA on two other occasions, 2018 and 2019.
Right, and you know, Ryan, squash is probably not one of the most popular sports, but it's obviously very exciting. Could you give us a sort of explanation of what's happening on the court and letting us know about the rules?
Okay, so what you will notice is on the front wall there are 3 red lines. There's one down on the bottom where you see the advertisement Jameson. That's called the tin. If you hit the ball down there, you lose the point. The line you see in the middle of the front wall, that red line is called the service line. That line, you must serve the ball above that line in order for it to be a legal serve. But once the serve is in play, that line doesn't matter. It doesn't factor into the game anymore. The line on the top that you see that running along the sides of the wall as well, it's called the out line. So if the ball hits that line or above that line, it is out.
So in squash, what are some of the strategies that you will employ to win?
Okay, so one of the beautiful things about squash is there are many different strategies that you can employ depending on the type of opponent that you're playing against. Squash is a balance between fitness and skill. right? So it depends on if you are more skillful than your opponent, or if you're fitter than your opponent. Then you try to figure out, okay, how do I strategize against this player? Do I try to get them tired by making the rallies long, or do I try to go for more winners if I realize that the other player is fitter than I am but I have better shots? Then I try to go to end rallies faster because I know that I am more skillful. But squash is a very positional game. So what you're going to see is you're going to see the athletes generally trying to stay in the middle of the court, right? Because they're trying not to expend too much energy. They're trying to make sure that the other player is the one doing the work. You're going to see the good players, like you're going to see now with Nicholas. Nicholas is the one tending to stay more in the middle of the court to have the other player moving around.
Right, that sounds very exciting. It actually sounds like a lot of tactical work.
It's a lot of thinking. Squash is a lot of thinking.
Yes, I think that is something I've looked on over the years. I've always been inquisitive to find out and try squash. And I think most of the members of the Novel Sports team have always wanted to try it out.
Well, come anytime you're ready.
Being here for the first time, it really looks a very, very challenging game. And how long is a particular set? Is it
okay, so the time of the game depends on the skill level of the players. Right? So two players who are very highly skilled, a game could be as long as half an hour, or a game could be 5 minutes. It all depends on how long the rallies go on within the game.
Right. And the scoring is to get to what?
11 points.
Okay, could you just give us an explanation on that 11, how you get to the 11?
Right, okay, so squash now is run on a pointer rally system. You have to win a rally in order to gain a point. But how squash used to be played with something called English scoring, where you were only allowed to win a point if you served. But now that's changed now, so the game is a lot more rapid, fast-paced now, so that you can win a point either on your serve or the opponent's serve, right? Sometimes the game goes to the point where the players go to 10-all. If the game goes to 10-all, then the player must win by 2 clear points. So it must be either 12-10, 13-11, 14-12.
Right. So I guess while you play, you need to keep a very good check of the score mentally.
Yes, you must always know what the score is.
Scores, right. And how do you find, these junior players? I just want to focus on the junior players a little bit. You've been coaching for how long now?
Let's say 12 years.
Right. And I mean, over 12 years working with the juniors team, you would have noticed different maturity levels. How well are they handling that ability to mentally think out the game, to strategize, and to win tactically on the court?
Each athlete is different. You find the older athletes under 19s and under 17s who have had a lot of experience. They have a very good ability to think through their plan properly, think through their strategy. Whereas the younger players who are now coming into it, they are now starting to mature in terms of their squash IQ, in terms of their squash knowledge, in terms of being able to think properly about hitting the ball in the right areas and stuff.
I mean, speaking to you over the last few weeks, I know there are some under 14, under 15 players represented at the higher levels. Is that correct?
Yes, so we have Seth Tong, who recently turned 15, is a top-ranked senior player in Trinidad, currently ranked like top 5 in Trinidad.
And how has he adapted to that? I mean, being at that age, is it his ability, skill level, or you think mentally?
He's always had a very high skill level, but what we've worked on a lot during the COVID period is physical. We worked on fitness a lot. So what we did was, when we first started, after the first lockdown in 2020, let's say he was at an 8 on the beep test. Within the last 2 years, he's gone to 13 on the beep test, which is a massive, massive jump.
Yeah.
Right, so but the improvement in fitness is what took him to the next level.
Right. So see the court, they're very busy. You see the junior players are taking part, and this is Sunshine Snacks sponsored Junior Squash National Tournament, and it's really exciting afternoon here at the Queen's Park Cricket Club Racket Center, and the Squash Association has done a tremendous job in mobilizing the juniors, and with the head coach Ryan Jagisa, and I'm sure they have a lot of supportive parents involved.
Yes, there have always been a lot of supportive parents, and we're very thankful for their support.
And you see a lot of that in junior sports. The success.
The parents are critical.
Yes.
Parents are critical to the development of the young athletes, as well as helping with the sport, the administration.
Right. And what is the future of junior squash in Trinidad? Is it expanding? Is it growing? Do you have room for more players to join in?
What happened with COVID actually came at the worst possible time, because we were actually now getting into all the different schools to get the kids to come and take part. And we were literally talking to most of the high schools right in February 2020. And then we were actually going to get 4 or 5 different schools to start playing. We were going to get Maple Leaf International School, British Academy. We were talking to Bishop's Anstey Junior School, St. Andrews, but then COVID came. So what our mission now, our goal is to rebuild our junior program. So coming from September when school restarts, we are on a mission to get as many kids as we can into our new junior development program.
Novel Sports has been working with some of the other associations, and you hear that the aim is to get into the secondary school system.
Right.
How has that worked out for you all?
No, we had success in the past. We worked with the Belmont boys. Belmont boys in, I try to remember the name of the school.
Yeah.
St. Francis, I think, is the name of the school. There's a school in Belmont that we worked with. We always used to have the kids would come play during their PE time.
Right.
The school would organize for a bus for them to come to play.
Right.
For our outreach program. But we actually want to get into the primary schools, because what happens is you really want to get kids from like 7, 8 years old, because when you can develop them that age, then you can really take them to the next level.
Right.
It's harder when you try to get them at 13, 14.
Yeah.
You need them from like 7, 8 to really blossom. When you get talent at that age and you can really take them from that age, that means they could really be like Caribbean champions or even better.
Right. And I think that's a common scenario with all sports.
Yeah.
That you want to nurture their skills from a young level.
You want to discover the talent early.
Yeah. And you mentioned a lot about fitness.
Yes.
How has and you mentioned the B test, so obviously you all are employing some sort of test and analysis.
Yes.
Do you see it being beneficial to the athletes themselves? Do you see that the athletes are they encouraged by it? Do they want to take it further? Do they want to train by themselves? Or sometimes youngsters tend to just do it for fun. How serious are they?
No, they're very serious, because what we have to do is, as coaches training these youngsters, we have to give them different incentives, right? So we always try to give them some sort of incentive to get to the next level of fitness, right? So what we do is we have different types of incentive. Sometimes we tell them, okay, well, if you go from 10 to 11 this month, you'll get $100. Or if you go from 10 to 12 in 3 months, whatever, you get a new squash racket. So you try to give them some sort of incentive to get to another level of fitness. Different people have different motivators.
Yeah.
Some people are doing it because they just want to beat somebody. Other people are doing it because, hey, I could get a prize or I could win something. So you have to understand the athlete that you're working with and how you're going to motivate each individual athlete.
Yeah, I think that's really good that you all recognize that, and with athletes themselves, especially young athletes, they always have to stay motivated so that they want to come back.
Yes, we always try to keep athletes motivated, right? Motivation is key in terms of keeping athletes training. So we always want to find out what it takes to motivate each athlete individually. Everyone is different in terms of what motivates them. Some people are motivated by competition. Other people are motivated by just bettering themselves. They give themselves a goal or a target. I want to be able to do this shot 100 times, and I can only do it 85 or 90. I want to get to the 100. So it's figuring out each different athlete on an individual basis to figure out how to motivate them.
Right, and I think this is for the growth of the game. We see the growth of the game in squash being something that could be exponential, because it's such a good sport that is probably kept a bit secretive, if I should say. It's something that, just a few courts around Trinidad and Tobago, and definitely something that we have to keep spreading and encouraging people just to come and try it out. And I think the key I think the key in growing the game is just having people just come and try the
Yes,
game.
that's why I always encourage anybody to come and try. So if Novel Sports ready to come and try, let them come and try.
Yeah, I think definitely we'll take up that.
Yeah. Come anytime you're ready.
Would we have to pass a fitness test?
No. Don't worry. We'll ease you all up.
Right, okay, good. So we have an open invitation.
Yes. And anybody listening to this has an open invitation to come to squash.
Right, and tell me about the infrastructure in Trinidad. We here at the Queen's Park Cricket
Right. So
Center.
this is the biggest racket
We
center.
here at the Queen's Park Cricket Center, which is traditionally known as the hub or the mecca of cricket in the West Indies. It's one of the biggest cricket grounds. But there's such a beautiful squash court or squash courts in this in the Oval, which people would know of. Could you tell us about this center and the other facilities around Trinidad and Tobago that's
Okay,
available?
sure. So this is the biggest squash facility in Trinidad and Tobago. We have 4 courts here. The facility was expanded in 2016 when they added on these additional 2 courts. Before that, it was previously only 2. We have 1 court in Tobago at Grafton Resort. We have 1 court at Raw Fitness in Gasparillo. We have a court in Chagonas at Central Athletic. We have a court actually a guy has a court in his house.
Okay.
In Hillsborough, yeah. And yeah, I think that's it for the courts that we have.
Is there any in Tobago?
There's 1 in Tobago. There's the one that I know of is at Grafton Beach Hotel.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's spread pretty well across the country, and
It is. We definitely want more courts. If anybody listening, they want to build some squash courts, just let me know.
yeah, for sure. I think for it to grow, the infrastructure has to be available.
Right.
It has to be present, and it's good to, in speaking with you and in speaking with the president, Ms. Diane and Julian, you all have always encouraged the participation and the
Yes.
access.
Yes.
So, if something you all, later on, you all could share your contact information, and so that people could contact you all to probably get
If you want to play squash, call me 770-4114.
Right, you all heard that 770-4114, the head coach, Mr. Ryan Jagasa. He's available. He also does private coaching, and he can take you to a good level because he's encouraging the fitness part, the technology part, the analysis part, and of course the technical and mental part. So that's good to hear that they're employing all these different aspects of coaching. Right, yeah, so we're back here at the Queen's Park Cricket Club, the Racket Center, where just in a few minutes we'll be starting our under 13 match at the Junior Squash National Tournament, and it's in preparation for CASA, the Caribbean Association for Squash. And it's a tournament being held later on this year in Guyana, where players from across the Caribbean will be coming over to Guyana to participate in that tournament. And the tournament, it's one of the biggest Caribbean junior tournaments, and I think in talking to the Squash Association, they are in the process of selecting the team and selecting the players, and the players have been training very hard over the last few weeks. And today, what we've seen here at the Squash Center, the Racket Center, is that they are playing tournaments and sending up, selecting the scores and handing it into the Squash Association. So they will be deciding what is the next step in terms of selection and training after today. So it's going to be a very exciting time. Right, so we're back here. We're back here at the Queen's Park Cricket Center, the Racket Center, sorry, Queen's Park Cricket Club Racket Center, and we have joined with us in the commentary booth Miss Diane Julian. She is the president of the Squash Association of Trinidad and Tobago and one overseeing this exciting tournament today. Diane, welcome.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you.
Could you just tell us a little about the Squash Association and, you know, what are some of the initiatives that is taking place over the next few weeks in the build-up to CASA?
Okay, well, we have junior CASA and we have senior CASA. So this junior tournament is to is for the juniors to participate, and then for the winners would more than likely be the ones who would be representing Trinidad and Tobago in Guyana. So a spin-off for that is that we have a golf tournament to raise funds for the juniors team to go to Guyana. So between now and then we also have our senior CASA, and that would be held in Jamaica.
And I guess the build-up to the actual CASA tournament,
Junior CASA.
that's the junior CASA.
Yes.
Is it going as planned? I know just coming out of the pandemic, things would have been a little restrictive, but is it going as planned to your liking?
Well, we had a setback because children under 12 could not have been, they had to be in a safe zone. And so that set us back a little bit because some of the kids went off to different sports. So the numbers that we were looking for, we didn't exactly meet. So we're now in the process of rebuilding and trying to increase the number of juniors.
Right. And I know Ryan, the head coach, earlier when he was talking with us, he told us that the juniors are welcome to come and join and play squash.
Yes.
But what is the process if a new junior, somebody who is just interested in squash but has probably never played, what is the process of probably membership or getting on trials if they've been playing for a while? You know, sometimes there may be juniors who are out there who play and they want opportunity. What is the opportunities available to them?
Well, the Queen's Park Oval and Point-A-Bear, you know, they're private clubs. So for the juniors to play, the parents would probably have to become members. For QPCC, they have junior membership as well too. Raw is there's a public court and Central Athletic as well too, so that if anybody off the street wanting to go and play, they can do it there too. But I would have advised maybe for the children to learn it the right way, that they try and enroll and get some training as well too. We are also trying to negotiate with Grafton because we had started an excellent program for the children of Blackrock and some of the outlying communities of Grafton. So I've engaged the management of Grafton in talks to try and build up that relationship where we can go back and have the junior program restarted. So that it's taken a little longer, but we've seen positive signs as well.
Right, and that is good. Squash is probably one of the best kept secrets in Trinidad, I would say, because being here and working with you all for the last couple of times, I think it looks very exciting.
It is,
I was just telling Ryan, the novel sports team had never had the opportunity to play, but it's something definitely. We will definitely want to try. You'll probably have to get some first aiders present in case.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll just be sweating like anything, but you'll be fine.
But it looks very exciting. I think it's something that I also see the parents who are here, they look like they play as well. So are there a lot of parental participation?
We have a few parents who play as well, but what our mandate for squash is, we have a long-term athlete development where we focus on youth, then teenagers and adults right up until the senior players. So our main focus is on junior squash, but we also try as much as possible to encourage parents to play to get involved in the game and play and have a family type thing as well too. And slowly we're seeing that coming along.
And you know, Dan, bringing us back here, you know, it's you'll have the involvement of Sunshine Snacks.
Yes.
Have they been a long-term sponsor of squash, and what is their, you know, how has it been, you know, with them?
No, Sunshine Stacks has been extremely supportive, not only in this tournament but in the past. And you know, we've always had a very strong networking relationship with them. So we're very pleased about that, and we'll just continue to grow from strength to strength.
Right, I think that's good. You know, it's always good to have that backing
Yes.
of a particular sponsor, because
Yeah.
sponsorship is critical for the
Yes,
development of sport.
certainly, certainly.
And you always want to ensure that sponsors themselves are satisfied with their involvement.
Yes.
And from what we've seen here today, they've branded the kids with jerseys, they've provided snacks.
Yes.
That is excellent to see that they support it at this level.
Yes.
So what is the agenda coming up to CASA in Guyana? That's it, right? What is the dates? What is the timelines like? And what do you all hope to raise? Or what is the, you know, there's the opportunity for you to tell people about
Yes.
that event.
Okay, so Junior CASA will be held from the 7th to the 19th of July in Guyana. So the kids will undergo rigorous training programs. We have coming out of this tournament, we will have to assign the children to different age groups to represent Trinidad and Tobago, and have specific training based on their skill levels from our national coaches. So I'm not certain whether we'll have another tournament before they leave, but it will definitely be rigorous on-court training and off-court training as well too. A lot of drills and match practice.
Yeah. And you know, it's good. I think the kids would have missed it during the pandemic, and now that they have the opportunity to come out and play freely,
Yes.
enjoy what they do.
Yes.
And it's definitely a motivating factor as well in their all-round development, in their schooling, their academics. So that's definitely something that I think is very positive
Yes.
for the juniors themselves.
Yes. For sure. I mean, it's such a fantastic game. I mean, half an hour and you're drenched.
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely fantastic game. We're also trying to increase the number of female athletes as well too. So we have some younger ones who now started up with us in South and as well as in North, and so we're hoping to bring the rest up to speed.
So the match that is on right now, it looks to be a very exciting young ladies match. Is this a
Yes.
under 13 or under 15 tournament?
That
Match?
would be under 15.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned ladies squash. How is that developing? Is it becoming more popular among females? I know Ria Khan, one of the national players in the years gone by, was
Yes.
a star in squash.
Yes, yes.
Is it something developing very quickly?
Well, it's gradually taking the direction in which we want it to go. As especially as events like this and the exposure that we're getting. Thank you very much, Novel Sports, that we can actually get a lot more people who have never seen the game or know about it, to get them involved and interested and wanted to come and join and get coaching, proper coaching.
Right. I think I think definitely is something to promote because you've seen a lot of the other sports globally.
Yes.
There's a big push for women's sports, for lady sports.
Yes.
And you know, with all these societal issues
Yes.
surrounding women
Yes.
now,
Yes.
I think it's so important that
An
ladies
outlet.
sports and women's sports are promoted in the right way.
That is very good.
And to have an avenue where they could come out in a safe place to enjoy something that is fit.
Yes.
And you know, it's just good for building society.
Yes, for sure.
I just want to mention the Sunshine Snacks team. They are here presently giving out samples of that famous chip ole, which is a very tasty chip. And Diane, I think this is very good to see their participation here today.
Thank you very much, Sunshine Snacks and Associated Brands. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely will take a pack before we leave. It looks a very tasty snack, and
Yes.
anybody coming to Trinidad should probably make sure that they get a Sunshine Snack. It's one of the traditional snacks around.
Yes, for sure.
So thanks very much for their participation here. So just take as in between the games, just take a look at the crowd, and we can see a good crowd here being supportive of probably their kids,
Yes.
their friends.
Yes.
And if you look down the corridor at the Queen's Park Cricket Club Racket Center, you can see the many courts here. There's about 7 courts, I believe. Each one of those glass showcases are 1 court, so it's a fairly big, 4 courts, sorry, a fairly big racket center. And you know, it's a perfect place to come and experience squash and to play, and definitely sign on to probably membership and taking the game to a competitive level. I think most of the national games happen here. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. And
So we're going to be starting here another match in the junior ladies category. So they have the different announcements talking about the players presently, and so soon we'll be joined by one of the coaches probably at the tournament today. Make a hat trick, but so we have here on the court Miss Josie Thong and Miss Maya Francois. They participating in the under 15 category, I believe, and it's a very exciting game. You can see the energy being displayed by these young ladies and playing very aggressive. And I think it's very good to see that these young athletes are trying so hard to win and to be successful. And definitely something that they're gonna be playing for that victory today. So we're hearing the scores there 8-all, and we'll be getting the results very shortly of this game. 9-8, it's the score. Right, that's 9-8 to Josie Thong. She's in the lead presently just by 1 point. And she'll be serving, all right, Josie Thong been served, and Maya Francois on the right-hand side of the court. And you can see that intent in these young ladies, trying very hard to win because they know what's on the line. It's being able to gain selection on the national team. And that game was won by Josie Thong, and a very good display there of squash. I think those looking on and will view the stream later and can definitely see what an exciting game it is, and a very good display by those youngsters. And we'd like to wish them all the best in the upcoming trials and for the national selection. So the game is going to be resuming shortly, and we hear the coach just make an announcement that the game will be starting in about 15 seconds, I believe. So stay tuned and keep looking at the live stream, and definitely something. Back here in the commentary booth, you listen to me. And we have on the court the game continuing between Josie Thong and Maya Francois. And again, playing very aggressive squash here at the Racket Center in preparation for the selection process. And joining us here at the commentary booth is Miss Sigoni Williams. Sigoni Williams. She is one of the junior nationals, and I'd just like to welcome her. Sigoni, welcome, and would you like to introduce yourself to the public out there?
Hi. Hi, my name is Sigoni Williams. I'm 16 years old and I've been playing squash for about 7 years. And I'm really looking forward to go to Casa this year.
And Sigoni is one of the, would you describe yourself as an aggressive squash player or very tactical? Or a mix?
A mixture.
Right. And I think talking to your coach earlier today, Ryan, he did say that you all put a lot of emphasis on the physical part, on the mental part. How has your training been over the last few months in the build-up to this tournament?
It's been...
Have you all been training regularly?
Yes.
How often?
Like 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah.
Right. And how long are the sessions?
Like about 2 to 3 hours.
Right, so it's very intense. Mm-hmm. And how have you been able to mix your academics with squash? Is it working out well for you?
Yes, yeah. I always do homework before I come here anyways.
Right, and that's good. And seeing your colleagues playing, because they're live on the stream now, do you think the selection process is going to be very competitive among the juniors, or you think there are some players who are, seeded in making the national team? Do you see that young, upcoming athletes challenging you all for your spaces?
Yeah, I can see that in the future, for sure.
Right. So, do you think squash? You've playing for whole 7 years. You said squash. Is it something you think you're going to play for the rest of your life, or is there any other sport you might be interested in?
Yeah, I will play squash in the future for sure, like senior casters and stuff.
Right. So I guess you are 16 years now, you said?
Yes.
Right. So at what age, or what is the next step after 16 years? You going to the under 19 category?
Yes. Because
Right.
it's under 17 and under 19.
Okay, good.
And then after that, you're no longer junior, so you're going to senior.
Seniors, okay. And definitely, being on the national setup has been a good experience for you. Did you represent Trinidad and Tobago the last time around?
Yes, I did, yeah.
And-
My
and-
first caster was in Guyana,
Right.
and then Jamaica, and then Trinidad.
And how do you feel representing Trinidad, your country? Is it a proud moment for you?
Yeah, honored. Feel honored. I'm proud to represent Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. And that's good. It's always great to have youngsters or young athletes participating at that level and being able to get an opportunity to travel, get an opportunity to wear the red, white, and black. And again, I want to congratulate you on behalf of the Novel Sports team. A job well done. Keep working hard at your game. Keep improving. Keep training, as you said. And definitely, you're a young player, and it's something definitely you will do very well in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, Sigoni, thanks very much.
No problem.
Right, so that was Sigoni Williams, very, very professional young player, young athlete. She will tell us a little bit about her career in squash. Right, so back here at the Racket Center, the Queen's Park Cricket Club, we have with us, join us in the commentary booth, Miss Amelia Walcott. She's one of the active parents involved in the squash. Her daughter, Chloe Walcott, is one of the junior nationals, I believe, at the under-19 level.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, so welcome, Amelia. And,
Hi.
And, you know, it's good to have parents involved. Can you tell us a little bit more about your involvement with squash here?
Well, I haven't held any position in the association or anything like that, but I've been a parent since Chloe was 11. So I've been around squash in terms of that. I do play. So I'm still, even after all these years, I'm still learning the game. But in terms of involvement, I mean, I get involved in fundraising and stuff like that, and just being a supportive parent. Some years ago, I hooked up with Earl, and we ran a little program on a Saturday where we'd bring the juniors out and get all the senior squash players, mostly men, and we'll card them or schedule them to play the juniors so that they could play up.
Right.
So, because they're always playing each other,
Right.
and especially when a lot of them are the same level, in order for them to grow and also play other people, see
Yeah.
other styles of squash and stuff like that. So we did that for 2 years.
Good.
And it was fun for the kids as well, you know, because no pressure. They're just coming out to play and have fun on a Saturday. So that's basically my involvement,
Right.
really and truly.
So little do you know, you're actually a good coach. Because you're actually a good coach.
All right, well,
Because as Novel Sports has been involved with coaching and development for athletes for over 12 years. And what we tell people is that the most important coach is the parent.
Right.
Because most times athletes would go from coach to coach to coach, or
Yeah.
from athlete to athlete. And the parents are the one, or the guardians are the one to really bring everything together.
Right.
And what you're saying there, you're actually charting a course for the kids.
Yeah.
And you having your kids involved will definitely, you see it firsthand. And then you, of being a parent, obviously, will be responsible for diet, exercise,
That's right, yeah.
managing their time.
yeah, getting them here on time and stuff
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
And I mean, I myself am a parent, and I know how challenging it could be.
Yeah.
But it's something I'm really impressed of what I've seen. I did see Chloe play a couple of weeks ago, and definitely doing extremely well. And from today alone, these girls playing here, Maya and Josie,
Yes,
they're
yeah.
playing extremely well, very, very competitive, and,
Yeah.
and that is good. And you know, parental involvement is so important for the development of the game. Without parents, I don't think the sport is going to reach as far. And parents are the one like yourself who hold it together.
Yeah.
You know, the times when things are tough, you know, when sponsors are not there, you
Yeah, you
are
have
the
to
ones
run
who
out
would.
and beg.
Exactly. You know, and how hard has it been coming out of the pandemic as a parent, keeping things going?
Well, the thing about it is that we tried as much as possible, as it allowed, in terms of the courts being closed on several occasions, to even keep them, when we were allowed to be outdoors, immediately dropped Jagia text as the national coach and say, Jags, what we could do, the
Yeah.
courts are closed, but we could go out now and
Right.
where we could meet up. And we went in St. Clair around the park on Saturdays. He initially started with the girls alone because it was just 3 of them at the time. It was Maya, Chloe, and Sagoni.
Right.
So he tried it with them to see if they will social distance, keep on their mask, behave. It didn't go as planned
Yeah.
in terms of that,
Yeah.
but they did come out and run and do off-court training, which was what was important at that time because if you want to call it, in the off season, so to speak,
Yeah.
not leading up to CASA. That's basically the fitness is very important, and so they would put in a lot of time in that. So that worked out well for them. By the time it rolled out in time, maybe to try and get the boys out, because the boys were a much larger contingent, and of course, with you still have a social distance. I mean, the protocols were still very heavily in place.
Right.
By then, the courts opened for well, not the courts, but national athletes were allowed to go back out and train, and so we came back to the courts, and the rest. Well, here we are today. So it was kind of hard because at one time we were promised that they would have CASA in December. You know, they all got excited, and then it was cancelled, all while we were in the middle of already looking to book flights and everything.
Yeah.
So that up and down of not being able to compete, I think that was the hardest part for the children. The
Right.
training was fine, they kept it up. I am kudos to them, because I mean, to work towards nothing basically, because
Yeah.
that's what it was like. It's like you're working towards what?
Yeah.
You know, when is
yeah.
going to be the next competition? Because even though you work hard, you want to compete at some point to see where you are, where have you grown from
Yes.
1 year to the next, or 3 months to the next. And of course, it was tough in that respect.
Yeah,
So,
I think you know, with all sports it was like that. You know, for the younger ones, the children, the kids, even the teenagers, it was a difficult time for them.
Yeah, it
and they were very enthusiastic to get out there. Needless to say, to restrict them. It was so hard. But I think the players themselves and athletes on the whole, you know, demonstrated good discipline and patience. There was a
Yeah.
lot of patience. And now, thankfully, you have all the players back out on the court. You know, everybody's still around to
Yeah,
enjoy.
thank God.
And heading have something to play for CASA. CASA
Yeah.
is a big tournament.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that they will definitely enjoy traveling.
yeah.
It's always great to have athletes travel and go to a foreign country and to represent Trinidad and Tobago. So tell us a little bit about Chloe. Is she ready? Is she, you know, confident about the tournament?
Well, she's excited. It's her last CASA. Unfortunately for her, she has lost 2 years. So she would have lost her final in under 17, her first year in under 19. This pushes her into her final and last year at junior CASA. So really and truly right now, even though all get to go to CASA, it's her last CASA. Obviously, you want to reconnect with your friends, try and play, hope to see end your CASA,
Yeah.
junior CASA career with some sort of win or something. But she's also very focused right now on trying to get ready for senior nationals.
Right.
Because at this stage, that will be her next step. She's played most of them have played in senior nationals because the children were always encouraged to play in seniors every year.
Yes.
And so Chloe has had a good little track record there because she won the plate for about 3 years in a row.
Right.
So, you know, she's looking forward to that and hoping to maybe even make a place on the team
Right.
to go Jamaica. But whether that will happen, it depends on who comes out in terms of the ladies,
Yes.
the senior ladies to play. Because that competition could end up very, very stiff because there's still active players out there. It's
Right.
just that a lot of them don't live here.
Yeah.
But they would normally come in. So you see how that goes. But
And I think for Chloe, she has age on her side. She's
Yeah,
young.
yeah,
so,
she's young.
So it will be a good
Yeah.
grooming experience for her, and it will be good for her to develop. And
Yeah.
I mean, even when Diane, the president, was speaking, she spoke about giving the younger kids the opportunity to play with the older
yeah, they've always
senior
done
players.
that. Yeah.
And that definitely will help develop them, you know,
Yeah.
get them ready. Sharing their experience is critical as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's excellent. It's excellent to know that is
Yeah.
the process involved. And, you know, and I want to wish Chloe all the best
Yeah.
in the
Well,
future.
yeah, she has exams
sport.
too, so that's
Yes.
putting a little pressure on her, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's good to be able to try and balance it to it.
Of course,
you know,
yeah.
strengths as a person. So
Yeah, great. So, Amelia, thank you for your time.
thank you.
Thanks for sharing that parental perspective. And it's always important. And I want to wish you all the best again. And thanks again.
Thank you. All right. Take care.
So we're back here at the Queen's Park Cricket Club Racket Centre. The squash courts here, a very beautiful facility here in Trinidad and Tobago. And we have on the courts Mr. Seth Tong and Mr. Lee Kwai, the junior nationals, I believe, at the under 17, under 19 category. And they just seem to be warming up there. Probably going to start a game very soon. And we've had very good participation and comments being shared with us on the stream from the parents, one of the players, the coaches, the president of the Squash Association. And we just want to congratulate them on the excellent work that they've been doing over the last few weeks and months in keeping squash alive in Trinidad and Tobago. And I think it's definitely something that we can look forward to for development and to ensure that it grows from strength to strength. Peter. So we're very fortunate to have with us one of the young athletes, Miss Chloe Walcott. She's just joined us at the commentary booth, and welcome, Chloe, and thanks for taking the time to come and have a chat with us at the commentary booth.
Of course, no problem.
So Chloe, your mom was actually just here sharing some insights into being a parent with squash. How has the training for you been over the last few weeks and months and getting up to this point?
Especially during the last few weeks, it's been pretty intense since we only have about a month and a half again until Castle. So there's been a lot of running and a lot of court training as well. All of us are working very hard for this year's Castle. This is my last Castle, well, in juniors, so I've been trying to train extra hard so I can win my category.
So is the tournament in Guyana, is it going to be a very competitive tournament? Do you expect some of the other countries participating to be difficult, or you think you're ready for them?
Well, I think it's the same people that I usually play, so that would be two girls from Guyana and one more from Barbados and another one from Jamaica. I don't know if Bermuda and Cayman have girls in my category, so I think it's just Guyana, Jamaica, and Barbados. So if it's the same people that I usually play, it's going to be difficult for sure, because they usually in the past have beat me.
Right.
But I am definitely putting up a fight, that's for sure.
Right. And that's great. We did witness earlier with two of the younger girls playing. I was telling my colleague that they were playing very aggressive, and I seem to sense that tone in the training, that you all are really putting out a lot of work. I sense that you all are going out there to win, and not to just participate. And you are representing your country, you're representing Trinidad and Tobago. Is this the second time or third time you represent?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I have to count. Hold on. Under 13, 15, 16. So I've been playing since I was about 12.
Oh, very nice.
So it would be like maybe fourth, maybe fifth, I think.
So
fifth or sixth,
right.
somewhere around there.
I mean, that's an excellent national record. You're probably in line for a national prize somewhere.
Maybe.
Maybe. And but definitely congratulations to you.
Thank
Representing Trinidad and Tobago and wearing your national colours is always a very proud moment. What has been your proudest moment playing for Trinidad in the past?
Trinidad? I'd say my proudest moment was probably when it was actually during our tournament in Jamaica, I believe it was. It was the first time I had placed in my category in individuals for the regionals. So I think I was in under 17s then, so I would have been 16 or 15.
Right.
And I had placed third instead of fourth or first in plate,
Right.
which is when you get knocked out the first round. So I had placed for the first time, and I was so happy that I actually got to come home with like a medal
Right, yeah.
from Castle.
Yeah, and that's excellent because I think making the team is one thing, but performing and winning or doing well is probably one of the best feelings in the world. And you know, we want to wish you all the best for CASA coming up. We want to wish you all the best for the training. Your mom did mention as well you're going to be playing for the seniors or trying out with seniors very shortly because this is your last year as a junior. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is my last year for juniors, so
Right.
it's seniors from here on.
Right. And do you see yourself, you know, competitive at the junior level, at the senior level?
I am gonna try and play in senior nationals this year,
Okay.
so I can hopefully get a spot on that team as well.
Right.
And I'll probably play competitively for years to come.
Right. Very good. And also, I want to wish you all the best in your academics because you have your exams as well happening.
Yeah, I have my exams in late this month
Right.
and into June.
Okay. And that's great. So, Chloe, want to wish you all the best again. Congratulations and thanks for taking the time out to come into the commentary booth. And any final words?
Thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Yeah. All right. Great. So, Chloe, thanks very much and we talk again.
Okay.
Right, so there's a break in the game now on the courts, and we've just been joined by Mr. Earl Wilson, one of the executive members, directors with the Squash Association, and also a member at Queen's Park. And he's also a parent of one of the players on the national team.
Right. No, my son is I'm a coach also.
Oh, the coach. So
I coach the mini juniors. My
Very
son
good.
juniors is coming on now.
So I'll hand over the commentary a bit to Mr. Earl Wilson, and he will introduce himself and talk about his experience with squash and all that is happening. So welcome, Mr. Wilson.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking with me. Again, my name is Earl Wilson. I've been in squash for a long time. What happened is that my son, he was interested in squash, and I was playing a little bit of squash. So basically, I trained him. So I was his coach. And he did exceptionally well in the game of squash. In terms of as a junior, all right? I remember 1 year he actually won the under 15, the under 17, and came second in the under 19 in one tournament. So he was really involved in the game. All right. At age, when he passed age 19, actually, he was the junior Caribbean champ on 2 occasions. All right. His under 19, obviously his final year. He won the junior championship in Guyana. All right, so he was very much involved. Then he became a senior. And
Right.
then his squash level went beyond me.
Right, yes, yes.
So I
Very
got
good.
other people to coach him basically.
Yeah.
But some of the parents came to me and said, Tina, can you coach my child? So I've been coaching now for quite a few years.
Right.
All right. And I just volunteer. I
Oh,
just
very good.
love to see kids develop.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's good to have somebody with your experience, because you coach, you're a parent, you have to manage a lot of stuff and then being on the association as well. From what you see on the court today with the junior trials, How do you think development is going? Is it going in a positive direction? Do you think it's something that is headed in the right direction for CASA?
Yes. Um, Prior COVID, we started a school program. All right. So we got into schools. We started them. The whole concept was to start them in school and then bring them on the court. So we actually used to play in the school, get them accustomed to that. By the time we hit our third school in the area, COVID hit.
Right.
And so that we had to obviously abandon the whole process.
Yeah.
But in talking to Ryan Jagasaw, who is the person I work with because he's the coach,
Yeah.
he says we definitely have to start that back in September. So that is squash development we're working on purely because we're looking at, when I say schools, we're actually looking at people between 10 and 12. All right? I remember when we started, in a matter of months, we had about 30 little children involved in squash. Okay? So that we're going to start that back. And that's the development program. The development program is sanctioned by both the QPCC, right, and the Squash Association. Right? I also assisted with the coaching in terms of, like Tobago. We started in Tobago, all right, before COVID. And I started assisting in terms of coaching and stuff in Tobago. I used to go over once a month and had to work to do, and I went and coached the kids at the same time.
Right.
So in terms of development, we went backward because of COVID.
Right.
All right. But we tend to step it up as soon as in September.
Yeah.
So that we'll see in the next junior national tournament, you'll see a lot more young ones coming up who are being coached and ready to play the game.
Yeah, I think that is, I mean, we've all acknowledged how COVID has put a halt on so many activities. But coming out of it, I think a lot of the sporting fraternity is going to be stronger because they know what they've missed, so that they're looking forward to really hit the ground running. And definitely what we've seen with squash in the last few weeks and even today, it's a very exciting tournament. You see the participation, and I even use the word, you see some of the players being very aggressive, that they want to win. And I think that is what is making it very exciting as well. So Mr. Wilson, I think that is, thanks for all that insight. It's a wealth of knowledge that you have, obviously. And, you know, working with the Squash Association, I'm sure you're going to help them get it into the right direction, and it's headed there already. And any final words before you leave the commentary booth?
Squash is a lovely game for kids, all right? Actually, and I really think that more parents should get themselves involved, especially sport, but squash is what we call an all-weather sport. You can play it at any time, all right? And I think parents should try and get their kids really involved in squash. It's a demanding game. It's good for them physically and mentally.
Yes.
All right.
And you heard it directly from this coach, because I think Mr. Wilson really articulated what squash is about. It's really a holistic sport, mental, physical, tactical. It really brings everything together onto one small piece of real estate on a court that makes it so much more difficult to win. You don't have the luxury of a large football field or a large cricket field. You have to dominate a very small court. So you obviously have to be very agile. You have to be very brisk. You have to know your position on the court. Yeah, I think, Mr. Wilson, I think that you really put a good perspective on squash. It's actually encouraging me to take a try one day.
If you need a coach, just give me a call.
All right, great. So, Mr. Wilson, thanks very much again, and nice to have you, and we'll talk again shortly.
Okay, thank you very much.
So welcome back here to the Queen's Park Cricket Club Racket Centre. And we have with us, join us in the commentary booth, one of the junior national athletes, Miss Maya Francois. She was one of the star athletes this afternoon, playing on the court a short while ago. Welcome, Maya, and you know it's nice to have you playing today and representing Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
So tell me about yourself a little bit as an athlete. You know, playing at the national level. How has it been? Has it been difficult? Has it been easy?
It's been a challenge, but not too hard because you would have to do schoolwork, family, friends, and then you're also doing like, and then you come here and you want to train hard because you're training for the national team and school and everything. So other than that, it's been okay.
Right. So you know, playing today, the games. How many games you had today?
I had one game today, but I had two yesterday.
Right. And was it difficult playing, or was it, you know, you came out and you think you've been in a good position to make the national team?
I think I was in a good position, but at the same time, I get nerves when I have to play, so it gets a bit scary at times. But
Yeah.
it was good. All my games are good.
Right. Great. And what category you play in?
I'm under 15.
Under 15. Okay. And what school do you attend?
I attend Holy Name Convent.
Okay. So at this school, is there a squash team at this school, or is it?
No, there isn't.
There's it. Okay. So basically are a member at the
I'm
Queen's
a member
Park?
of the Oval.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. And you know, it's last year you mentioned, or when was the last time you played for Trinidad?
Before COVID, so in 2019.
Right. What was your proudest moment, you know, playing and representing the red, white, and black?
My proudest moment was winning in. I did not win my division, but I won a few games, and I felt proud because I put effort into training.
Right. And I think that is something definitely will make better athletes. You know, it's good to participate, but winning always feels so much better.
Yeah, it makes everything better.
Right,
It makes the
and-
training feel good.
Losing is no fun, as I say.
No, it's not.
That's right. And that's great. I think that is something that I want to congratulate you on all the efforts so far. How has your training program been? How often do you train?
I train 4 days in a week. I try to come more, but with school and lessons, I have to juggle. But yeah, I train 4 times in a week.
Right. And how hard is it mixing your academics with squash?
Wait, pardon?
Schoolwork. How hard is it with your schoolwork and squash? Is it easy or hard?
It's not difficult because it's not that difficult, but it's not easy because I still have to I have exams coming up and I have to study and review my work. But then
Right.
also comes to squash and practice. But when you come here, you have your friends, so it's like
Yeah.
a breather from school and everything.
Right. Well, that's great, Maya. I think congratulations on your efforts so far. Congratulations on the work you've put out. And, you know, I want to wish you all the best for the rest of the trials and then hopefully for the national team. And hopefully we'll be seeing you featured in an international tournament someday.
Thank you.
Right, Maya. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Right, so we're back here at the Queen's Park Cricket Club Racket Centre. We have on the court Miss Sigourney Williams on the left-hand side with the black jersey and Miss Chloe Walcott with the green jersey. They'll be starting a game very shortly. And what you're seeing here is one of those regular warm-up routines. And, you know, earlier today, one of the important things of this live stream that Novel Sports is doing is to highlight the juniors and the work that they've been putting in. And we have joining us here in the commentary booth, Miss Josie Thong. She actually just played one of the most competitive and aggressive games of squash that we just saw with Maya Francois, and she was very willing to come and share with us. So welcome Josie to the commentary booth.
Thank you.
So Josie, what age group category do you play in?
I play in under 13, and it is really scary, but it's fun.
Right.
I did want to quit because it got boring, but after I was forced to play, and I don't regret it. It's really fun.
Right. You know, that's it's good to hear a young player like yourself actually grasping the opportunity to play, because sometimes, you know, people tell us just try a sport, you know, you may like it, and look where you are today. You're actually on national trials, and you've represented Trinidad before?
Yes, and I have played Castle once.
Okay, and at what age group was that?
Under 13.
Under 13. Well, great, and you know, that's the good thing about sports. Sports give you the opportunity to play. It gives you the encouragement to go on from strength to strength. And how has it been with your managing your time and your schoolwork and sports?
Okay, so it is kind of hard because I do other sports. I do hockey. I also want to start rugby.
Right.
But it is kind of difficult because I train for squash every day except for Sunday.
Right.
So what I do is that first I do school, then I do squash, and then after I would do my schoolwork.
Yeah.
Yes, it's hard, but it's fun. Not
Right.
really fun. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a good adrenaline feeling. You know, you get out there and you play in different sports. And I always tell people, for youngsters, it's so important that you play different sports because it gives you that oversight and that holistic development. And you said you mentioned rugby.
Yes, rugby.
Right. One of the most dangerous or one of the most challenging, physically challenging sports. And I think that is good that you play that game. And what was the other sport you mentioned?
Hockey, field hockey.
Field hockey. So you obviously are a very fit athlete.
Yes, I am.
And do you spend a lot of time training?
Yes, I do. On Tuesdays, I do 2 hockeys actually.
Right.
First after school at I think 2:30 to 5:30 I do hockey.
Right.
And then after 5:30 I do another hockey. I can't remember until when,
Right.
but I do Stacy, and then I do Magnolias.
Right, very good. So, you know, that's excellent. You're obviously one of those young and upcoming star athletes. Hopefully you'll get that recognition at the national level and they can open the doors for you in those avenues. And I think squash is one of the, as I was telling you, the president of the Squash Association, that squash is probably Trinidad's best kept secret. Not much people know about squash. And, you know, hopefully through the live stream today and hopefully through you all as youngsters performing and doing well, squash will grow. Do you see plenty youngsters your age? I mean, at age 13 it's very young. Do you see plenty youngsters coming into squash?
Not really, actually. Normally I see some people bring their kids, but it's just for fun and games.
Right.
But I barely see people in my age. I just met I met this boy a while ago, but I now saw him the second time today. And he's older than me.
Right.
I've never seen someone really my age, 12, go around and play squash.
Yeah, and I think that is something that, I guess, coming out of the pandemic, people are still cautious, you know, coming out into environments. But what is something encouraging you would say to a youngster, you know, to get them onto the court?
I think all I'll say is that squash is a really fun sport. People think that it's dangerous, that you can get hit, but I think that you're just overthinking it. Normally, it's actually really fun. It's exciting. It makes you very fit.
Right.
And it keeps you in shape.
Yeah.
and I gotten a lot of compliments about how fit I am in school.
Right.
So
No, that's for sure, for sure. I mean, being able to play rugby, hockey, and squash, you really have to be at a different fitness level, and being able to get that exposure at a young age, I think that's phenomenal.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, any final words before you leave us at the commentary booth?
All I really have to say is that you should do squash. You should make it more known,
Yeah.
and it's a really fun sport.
Yes, I think definitely. I think we at Novel Sports, we really appreciate the opportunity to come here today and to feature the youngsters and be able to show some of the games live. And we're hoping that, in the months and years to come, squash could grow to such a point that there are professional tournaments, there are more junior tournaments, because it's important. It's important for the growth of the game. So, Josie, we want to wish you all the best. Congratulations on all your successes so far, and keep pushing hard, and for sure there are great things ahead.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. So we're back here at the Queen's Park Cricket Club Racket Centre in the final game of today, where we have Chloe Walcott and Sigourney Williams, two of the players in the junior category, and we've been joined again by the head coach, Mr. Ryan Jagasa. He's been working extremely hard with the players over the last few weeks and months to get them ready for these trials and the tournament, and then for CASA. Ryan, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back again.
Yes, for sure. We could not have left without having you come back to the mic, because I think everybody who was on this chair today had very good things to say about you and the coaching and the program.
Thank you.
Kudos to you. So tell me a little bit about the game on the court. I think that is some, before we wrap up, you want to give us some ball-by-ball commentary as what is happening on the court?
Okay, right. Chloe just hit a fantastic drive kill on the backhand side. Nice volley, good volley. Another nice clean winner.
Are you seeing any obvious strategic moves by Chloe or Sigourney?
Chloe is being very dominant. Every opportunity she gets to attack the ball, she's hitting the ball low and hard, putting Sigourney under a lot of pressure. Right, Sigourney hit a nice boast, get Chloe to run. Right, Sigourney just constructed a really nice point, and that's why she finished it off with the volley. She had Chloe moving forward and backward, and she was very smart in her play just now.
Yeah, I personally appreciate this commentary now, Ryan, because I'm understanding the game a little bit better.
Excellent, that's good. Happy to hear that.
Yes,
so now when you come to play, you know what you're doing.
Yes. Well, I probably won't know what I'm doing, but I'll come to play.
You'll try.
I'll try. So you I guess in playing squash, on the court, would you recognize as a player the strength of your opponent and try to counteract that with something opposite or
Yes.
equal?
So normally what happens is if two players don't know each other at all, they normally use the first game of the match as a feel-out process to try and see where the other player is making their mistakes,
Right.
and then they try to play to their opponent's weakness.
Right.
So if two players are not as experienced, what happens is most players tend to be weak on the backhand. So as a coach, what I would tell another player is always test out the other player's backhand first.
Right.
To see how strong they are. Can they get the ball out to the back on their backhand?
Yes.
And then from there we start to look, can they volley the returner serve? Can they, how quickly do they move off the tee to get to the ball? So we started looking for all the different areas where we think players might be weak, and then
Right.
try and figure out how we're going to game plan against them.
Okay, great. I think that is a very good tactical way to approach the game. And as I was telling one of the fellow commentators here today, squash is a very small real estate.
Yes.
You don't have the luxury of a large football field or a large cricket pitch to play on.
Yes.
So you really have to be agile.
Be very quick, yes.
Yes. How is agility is one of the more intense types training. Do you all do a lot of agility
Yes,
drills?
so we do a lot of plyometric training.
Right.
Athletes do a lot of jump squats, jump lunges, speed ladder drills, jump up and down stairs. A lot of speed work is definitely required, especially for take-off speed.
Right.
So what happens is squash, like you just mentioned, squash is a very small real estate, right?
Yeah.
The court is not very big, so an athlete is never going to have to run 100 meters.
Right.
Right, but an athlete has to move very quickly. So the first step in the movement is extremely critical, right? Because you don't want to be late on the ball. From the time you're late on the ball, you're in trouble.
Right.
You're behind the 8 ball. You starting to scramble around the court, which is what you don't want.
Yeah.
You want to be quick onto the ball so you can be dominant and take control of the rally early.
So acceleration is one of the key things. You want to be able
being
to
able
push
to
up.
accelerate quickly, yes.
Yeah. How is hand-eye coordination?
It's very, very important because the game is a very quick game and your hands have to be very quick.
Yeah.
But you also have to be very accurate with the ball because if you're not accurate, then the other player is just going to dictate play and have you scampering all over the place.
Right. I noticed on the court there's a line, a red line, about 13 feet up on the wall.
Right.
Is that the boundary or is that the?
That's the outline. Yes.
Outline. Okay.
Yes.
So is that used tactically in the game?
Yes, it is. Right. So players use the height of the court to use high lobs. That's for defense.
Right.
Right. So anytime you find yourself under pressure in a match, you're going to see the players hit the ball high and soft to give themselves time to get back to the middle of the court.
Right. I thought so. I guess it's kind of similar to badminton where you try to put the shuttle to the back of the court.
Yes. So
and to sort of, I guess, slow down the game.
Yes.
To give it the opportunity to get back.
So players who are not as fit tend to use that tactic a lot. They tend to hit the ball high up in the air to give themselves a chance to rest.
Right. Okay, great. What about power?
Power is also very important as well, right? So that's the beauty of squash. You have to have the balance between power and finesse.
Right.
So when you hit a nice finesse shot, what you're hoping for is that your opponent gives you an opportunity to hit a power shot after.
Right.
You're hoping to get a weak shot. When you get a weak shot, that's when you realize that you are on the offensive. So that's when you go low and hard, trying to end the rally right away.
Okay. So it's I'm really impressed by what I'm hearing. It's really a combination of all those attributes of sports. You know, like for example, if you play cricket, you know, you would tend to go there and sometimes you will stand all day in the hot sun to catch one ball.
Right.
You know, football, sometimes it's a slow game, you know, but squash really brings everything together within 5 minutes or a few minutes.
Yes.
How long are the games?
Like I said, a game could either be 5 minutes or a game could be half an hour. And a match could be 15 minutes or a match could be an hour and a half.
Right, okay.
So it all depends on the even level of the fitness and skill of the athletes.
Right.
So if each of the athletes is equally as skillful and they're equally as fit and they're at the higher level, a match is easily an hour.
Right. So that's something, you know, it's really good to see that the players, when they go into a game, they can't be complacent. They really have to.
They can't because the game could be over very quickly. If they're complacent, 3-4 rallies in a row you lose, then you end up losing the game quickly.
Yeah, so they really have to be prepared to go the distance.
Yes,
really
that's why we always train for an
Yeah.
athlete to be able to have the ability to go the distance.
Right. And I mean, as the coach of the national team, you know, going across the Casa, I've been doing some research and I've seen that Guyana is one of the top countries or
Yes.
have some of the top players in the Caribbean.
Guyana's always been a top, Guyana and Barbados have always been two of the top countries in terms of junior squash in the Caribbean.
Right. And how do you rank Trinidad and Tobago? Are we there or are we getting there?
We are now in a rebuilding phase, right? Before the pandemic, I would say we were very close. We were either third or fourth. We were like right behind them. But now what happens is a lot of our athletes have aged out.
Right.
So a lot of the athletes that were 16 and 17, because they've missed 2 years, can no longer participate in junior squash.
Yeah.
So what we have to do now is we have to rebuild our junior program, because what happens is, like I mentioned before, the last 2 years we've been unable to bring up the younger ones because anybody under 12 couldn't be vaccinated.
Yeah.
And the squash courts were closed to those people.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be on an intensive drive to rebuild our junior squash.
I think that's the problem, what the issue most sports are facing. You know, you'll have lost 2 years of your life.
Yes.
You know, but it's good to know that, you know, together with the association and the different clubs in Trinidad and Tobago, everybody seems to be very excited. You as a coach obviously have the experience and the knowledge in terms of imparting that knowledge into the players to get them ready. It's an impressive setup. You know, as I said before, it's really something that I would like to get more experience in. Not me personally, but get people to come and play, enjoy it. At a younger age to spread the game.
Yeah.
We know in the school system it may be a bit difficult because of the facilities involved, but getting them to a court is probably the key.
I think it's important for the schools of this nation to encourage their athletes, their students to take part in different sports.
Yeah.
So I'm a squash coach, but I'm an advocate for all sports.
Right.
So I try to help kids play table tennis, badminton, golf, archery, any sport, swimming.
Yeah.
Kids need to be active. We need to get these kids, especially now after COVID, when they've been home and they've been on iPad and online learning for so long and been inactive.
Yeah.
We as a country need to encourage our children to get out there and take part in different sports. Let them experience different things and see which one they like, right? So we're not sure which athlete might find their potential in one versus another.
Right.
So I literally tried 10 sports before I found squash,
Yeah.
and I just fell in love with squash on the first day.
Right.
But I tried football, hockey, cricket, badminton, tennis,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
And squash was the one I loved. But my goal is just to get as many young people taking part in activity.
Yeah, I think that's excellent advice. I myself am a cricket coach, so I tell kids the same thing. Don't play one sport. Play at least 3 sports, but experience all. So you will get that opportunity to really see what a true athlete is. But definitely squash should fit into any child's program, because I think it's very important to see this, just the experience.
Yeah.
Just the experience of coming on a court could be really exciting. So Ryan, so after today, after these trials, what is the next step for the national
The
team?
next step is to start inviting the national team to do official national training.
Right.
So from next weekend, official national training will start taking place.
Right, and that will be on weekends only, or?
It will be predominantly Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
Predominantly. So that's when the athletes will get most of their on-court time.
Right.
Right? So because it's a challenge for us to get on-court time during the week, with athletes having in school, and then with us being in a private members club, it's not always easy to get access to court time.
Right.
So we get most of our court time on the weekends. What we do earlier on in the week is we do a lot of fitness training. So the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, when the athletes do their long run, they do a 45-minute run. They come, they do court sprints,
Right.
they do stretching, they do plyometric work. So we tend to do more physical work earlier on in the week, and then we
Right.
get more on court to do more technical skill work on the weekends.
Right, okay. I mean, that sounds like a very well-planned program. It
It
sounds
has
that-
to be. It has to be. Yeah, we had to make use of the time that we have.
Yeah, in the courts. So yeah, Ryan, I think that is excellent. You know, I've heard very, very good things about squash today, and definitely something we're looking forward to seeing squash from Trinidad and Tobago being more on the map. You
Yes,
know,
we
probably
definitely have to
reaching-
get squash more.
I did hear earlier that later on the year there's supposed to be a
Professional squash tournament. Yep. We're hoping to host a professional tournament in November.
Right.
At
And
the club.
what is the difference with the professional tournament as opposed to CASA, for example?
Professional tournament is a whole nother level.
Yeah.
It's like watching Trinidad cricket versus West Indies cricket.
Right.
West Indies versus India versus Point of Pair versus Queen's Park.
Right. So you're talking like the PG of golf then?
Right. You're talking to the top players in
Top
the world.
players.
You're
Okay,
talking
great.
about.
And is it something planned already, or is it something?
Yes, so there's something planned where we're looking at the first week in November,
Right.
where we want the tournament to take place. We're hoping to host both a men's and a women's PSA event here in November.
Right. Okay. Excellent. And definitely something to look forward to on this sport
Oh yes,
calendar.
for sure. We
for
definitely
Trinidad.
want to get as many people as possible to come out and check out that event.
Yeah.
Exciting action with some of the world's best athletes.
Right. Well, that's great. So for this afternoon, I noticed there's a break on the court. Is there another game to start, or?
This is the last match
Right.
that's currently on, and the athletes are currently in their 90-second break. So after
Oh.
each game, there's a 90-second break.
Right. And so after this break, how many games do we have again?
Potentially, there's 3 games, or this could be the last game.
Okay. All right. And how is this game going so far? You know the scores? You know the scores of this game?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think Chloe's up 2-love.
Okay. So it's if Chloe's at 2-love, that means if she wins this
If she
game.
wins this game, that's the end of the match.
Okay. And if also you have to win by 3 clear.
It's best of 5. So
Oh.
whoever wins 3 games first wins the match.
Right. Okay. Okay. Good. So having worked with both athletes, what do you think Sigoni's strategy is going to be?
Sigoni's strategy is to try to make Chloe move around as much as possible. So
Right.
Sigoni has more speed, whereas Chloe is a bit more skillful, more stronger technically.
Yeah.
So each athlete is going to try to use their strength against the other athlete.
Right. So probably we could do some commentary on this game, seeing as that's the final
Sure.
final game.
Right.
You can definitely sense the intent and the aggression. You can see how Chloe and Sigoni they're moving around the court a lot.
Yes, each athlete is actually doing pretty well right now, because each, as you can see, what they're doing is they're making the other player run a lot. Right, so no one person is actually completely dominant right now.
Yeah.
The athletes are actually playing very competitive rallies.
I saw there a very gentle touch by Chloe.
Yes. There's a lot of running going on. Wow, great shot, Sigoni. Nice straight drive. Unforced error.
So in squash, is there any penalties you get or errors that you make that cost you points?
In terms of penalty,
Yeah.
there's either, okay, so in the game, right, because squash is a game where there's no net in between, right? You know, badminton and tennis, there's a net in between, right?
Yeah.
There's no net, so we are in the same space together. So what happens is if you play a really bad shot and the ball comes right back at you, you lose the rally, and what that's called is a stroke.
Okay.
So that is something you would consider a penalty. Right, that's something where you lose the point because of your bad shot.
Right. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting.
Right, and also, okay, so let's say for example, there are different athletes who might behave differently on the court, right? So if somebody is not behaving good on the court, the referee can penalize them by
Right.
taking away a point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Like how football you have a red card and a yellow card.
Yeah.
Right. In squash, you can be given a conduct stroke.
Oh, okay.
And you lose a point.
Yeah.
Or a conduct game. If you really behave
very
bad, you
bad.
could lose a whole game. Yes.
Yeah. I think in all sports, discipline is important. You want
Yes.
to make sure you maintain a certain
Yes,
level
you want to
of
make sure the
discipline.
athletes behave properly,
Yeah, of course.
conduct themselves properly, and respect the officials.
Yeah, of course, for sure.
It's a close
all.
game here. It's a close
Yeah.
game. Nice winner there by Chloe.
And this is the under 19 category.
Yes, it's the girls under 19 final.
Right, so we're looking here live at the the trials for the national team girls under 19 trial game. And
Nice tight shot.
But between Chloe Walcott and Sigoni Williams, they've been playing very, very aggressive and very smart squash. And very shortly we'll be seeing who's the winner for this game. So I noticed, Ryan, that you're allowed to play the ball off the glass at the back.
Yes. So any shot that doesn't hit the front wall first is called a boast. There are many different types of boast, right? There's the back wall boast, there's the corkscrew boast, there's the three-wall nick boast, there's the two-wall working boast, there's the volley boast. There's many different shots available to the players. That's actually one of the reasons why I fell in love with the game, because there's so much creativity.
Yeah.
There's so much different things you could do with the ball.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that made me fall in love with the game.
I think what is important for anybody wanting to try the game is to learn the game, because it seems to be something that you really have to understand the rules.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, understanding the rules is definitely very important. It's 7-10. (8-10). This is a close game we have on our hands. Match ball. Okay, match to Chloe. That's it.
So that was a very, very intense game, and won by Chloe Walcott. I want to congratulate Chloe and Sigoni for pushing so hard. And Rand, any observations or any comments on that game between Chloe and Sigoni?
Chloe just used her experience in the end to edge out the game, but the games were very close.
So I think, Ryan, are there any more games planned today, or that was the final
No,
game?
that's it for the tournament.
Right. So Ryan, we want to thank you very much for this opportunity to come to the Racket Center here at Queen's Park Cricket Club.
Thank you to Novel Sports. We appreciate very much what you guys did.
Yeah, and you know, hopefully we could spread the word of squash and being able to, you know, have the opportunity to be here and want to wish you all the best as the head coach. We want to wish the association, the Squash Association of Trinidad and Tobago, all the best. We want to also wish Queen's Park Cricket Club, their squash membership, the best as well. And you know, we're looking forward to big things for squash in the future. So
Okay, great. Thank you.
yeah. Any last words before we close?
Come try squash.
Right.
Tell everybody come try squash.
Right, so again, signing off here from the Racket Center at Queen's Park Cricket Club, and on behalf of the Squash Association of Trinidad and Tobago, we want to thank, first of all, the sponsor, Sunshine Snacks. We want to thank the parents, the players, and all the viewers who have logged on, and hopefully you all can share the stream, because the stream will be available on the Novel Sports YouTube channel, and share it with many people, because squash is a growing sport. We want to invite everyone to come and try it at any time, and thank you all, and have a good evening.